हरिः ओम् नमः सर्वेभ्यः। अद्य कृदन्तप्रकरणस्य नवोत्तरशततमः पाठः लटश्चतुषानचावप्रथमा समानाधिकरणे इत्यस्य वाक्यार्थस्य अध्ययनम् अद्य समापयामः। येनाक्षरसमाम्नायमधिगम्य महेश्वरात् कृत्स्नं व्याकरणं प्रोक्तं तस्मै पाणिनये नमः। वाक्यकारं वररुचिं भाष्यकारं पतञ्जलिं पाणिनिं सूत्रकारं च प्रणतोऽस्मि मुनित्रयम्। मुनित्रयं नमस्कृत्य तदुक्तिः परिभाव्य च वैयाकरणसिद्धान्तकौमुदीयं विरच्यते। पूर्वस्मिन् वर्गे अस्माभिः अस्य वाक्यार्थस्य प्रारम्भिकः अंशः तत्र त्रयः प्रश्नाः उक्ताः सन्ति। अयम् अंशः अस्माभिः पठितः। झटिति पुनरावर्तनं कृत्वा अग्रे सरामः। तत्र प्रथमः प्रश्नः आसीत् लक् कर्मणि च भावे च कर्मकेभ्यः इति सूत्रेण लकारः कर्तरि नो चेत् कर्मणि प्रयुज्यते। अतः लकारस्य कुत्र सामानाधिकरण्यं भवति इति वदामश्चेत् कर्तृपदेन सह कर्मपदेन सह सामानाधिकरण्यं भवति। परन्तु उभयत्र इत्युक्ते देवदत्तः ओदनं पचति इत्यत्र यदा कर्तृपदेन सह सामानाधिकरण्यं भवति, नो चेत् देवदत्तेन ओदनः पच्यते इत्यत्र कर्मपदेन सह सामानाधिकरण्यं भवति, तादृशम् उभयत्र तत्तत्पदस्य प्रातिपदिकार्थलिङ्गपरिमाणवचनमात्रे प्रथमा इत्यनेन प्रथमा एव सम्भवति लकारेण कर्तुः नो चेत् कर्मणः पूर्वमेव विधानात्। अतः लकारस्य प्रथमा सामानाधिकरण्यम् इति संगच्छते, परन्तु लकारस्य अप्रथमा सामानाधिकरण्यं कथम् इति प्रश्नः। अप्रथमा सामानाधिकरण्यं न भवति चेत् शत्रु शानच् आदेशौ अपि न भवतः इति अग्रे अध्याहृतमस्ति. So the whole point is the sutra says let us shatrushanachava prathama or let us shatrushanachau aprathama samanadhikarane. So when the lakara is used in aprathama samanadhikaranam, it will get converted to shatru and shanach. We are questioning the very first premise. Lakaraha tatra अप्रथमा सामानाधिकरण्ये कथं भवति, and the obvious next question is that न भवति चेत् तत्र शत्रुशानच आदेशौ कथं भवतः. So that is obviously the second part. This is what we will discuss in the beginning. Significant, some 45-50 minutes of the class will be spent in this part. तदनन्तरं द्वितीयः प्रश्नः अप्रथमा सामानाधिकरण्ये नो चेत् अप्रथमा समानाधिकरणम् इत्यत्र पर्युदासः अस्ति उत प्रसज्यप्रतिषेधः अस्ति। तत्र पर्युदासः इत्यत्र प्रथमा भिन्ने समानाधिकरणे सति शत्रुशानच् आदेशौ भवतः, प्रसज्यप्रतिषेधः इत्युक्ते शत्रुशानच् आदेशौ नित्यं भवता परन्तु प्रथमा सामानाधिकरणम् अस्ति चेत् न भवतः. And finally the third question, प्रथमा सामानाधिकरण्यम् अप्रथमा सामानाधिकरण्यमिति सूत्रे उक्तं तर्हि प्रथमा सामानाधिकरण्ये सति पचन् पठति पचमानः पठति एतादृशाः प्रयोगाः कथं समर्थनीयाः इति अनेन प्रकारेण त्रयः प्रश्नाः अत्र उक्ताः. इदानीम् उत्तरं पठामः. The class is going to be pretty loaded. We are going to discuss lots of new concepts specifically related to Nyaya, the Nyaya Shastra. I will only be touching things that are bare minimum essential and needed for understanding this kind of Vakyartha. You will at least be able to understand, the kind of complexity that gets involved in writing or in presenting these kind of arguments over here. Just 1 second. So, अत्र प्रारभामहे. तत्र प्रथमः प्रश्नः तत्र सामानाधिकरण्यं कथं संगच्छते अप्रथमा सामानाधिकरण्यं. तत्र प्रथमप्रश्नस्य इदं समाधानं. So he starts by saying that the lakaras are to be acceptable in aprathama samanadhikaranyam because the adeshas, the shatru and shanach, you actually see them in aprathama samanadhikaranyam. So you see prayogas like pachantam or pachamanam. So you see prayogas in dvitiya, tritiya, other vibhaktis. And from where will these prayogas originate? They cannot originate from, blue air, thin air. So they have to originate back from the lakara. So even though you do not see, or even though there is no direct proof that lakara is used in aprathama samanadhikaranyam, the adeshas Shatru and Shanach are used in Aprathama Samanadhikaranyam. So you do an anumana, you do a reverse deduction. So that's what he says over here. Anumanam atra ashriyate. So what is the answer to our question? Lakarasya aprathama samanadhikaranyam katham yujyate tatra inference prayoktavyaha tatra anumanam प्रयोक्तव्यम अनुमानस्य आश्रयः तत्र स्वीकरणीयः. What is anumana? He gives a simple example. यथा धूमं दृष्ट्वा वह्निः अनुमीयते. Patent example, everybody knows this from the Nyaya Shastra, that when you, by the way, Nyaya Shastra, for those who are completely unaware, does not mean law. Nyaya Shastra in our darshanik system, darshanas, it means the Indian system of epistemology, logic and epistemology. So in this Nyaya Shastra, inference is typically given with this example, that you see smoke on the mountain and you guess that the smoke comes from the fire. So yato dhumaha tato vannihi, idanim atra parvate dhumaha drishyate atah tatra kimuttaram nochet kim anumanam parvataha vandhiman. So there will be fire on that particular mountain. So in the same way, लकारस्य ये आदेशाः शत्रुशानच् प्रत्ययौ तौ अप्रथमा सामानाधिकरण्ये प्रयुज्येते ते तौ आदेशौ कस्मात् भवतः लकारात् भवतः अतः अनुमानेन purely by the method of inference we can conclude लकारस्य अस्प्रथमा सामानाधिकरण्यं संभवति. Now it is obviously not as simple as that, otherwise there was no need to give a vakyartha. There are going to be questions on this particular argument of anumana and those will be refuted by the Uttar Pakshin. But before that, if you noticed, I actually skipped first 3 or 4 lines. Let me take this pointer from GoToWebinar. Okay, so I actually skipped these 3 or 4 lines initially. So let me just quickly go through these 4 lines and then we will talk about this anumana thing. So this first 4 lines are kind of deviation, but it's an interesting deviation. So I wanted to discuss that. What happens is, typically in a class, when teacher is teaching, there is an enthusiastic student who comes up with something completely arbitrary question. He probably might or might not have understood the material, but the question that he comes is not at all related to the discussion. He does his own half knowledge based thinking and comes up with some question, and teacher then takes that question for a minute or two, answers that question and go ahead. Those of you who are teaching, I'm sure they are familiar with these kind of experiences. So this is exactly what is happening over here. Bhashyakara is talking something, let us Shatrushana Chava Prathama Samanadhikarane, and there is this enthusiastic student who asks completely irrelevant question. So what question he says? He says that we are talking about lat Shatrushana Chava Prathama Samanadhikarane. So we are talking that lat lakara is being used in a Prathama Samanadhikaranyam. So that's what we are talking. We have not yet even come to the answer, but that's what we are talking. And this enthusiastic student says, why lat lakar only? We should also talk same thing about lang lakar. We should also talk same thing about lot lakar. So he completely derails the discussion. And then in a minute or two, the teacher will pacify him. Teacher will make him quiet, will give some answer, and then he will come to the real answer of this anumana. So let's read this initial part and then you will understand the kind of question he asks and the answer given by the Bhashyakara, all written in form of a vakyartha over here. So he says prathama prashna se idam samadhanam, and suddenly somebody comes up and he says तिङन्तस्थले अपि प्रथमान्तार्थस्य अन्यत्र क्रियायाम् अन्वयः स्वीक्रियते चेत्. So he says, in yesterday's class we saw pachakaha devadattaha gacchati, we saw there was possibility of association of two kriyas and so on. If we agree or if we come up with that kind of answer for the lat lakara, we should also come up with that kind of answer for lang lakara, is what he says, completely irrelevant. So he says तथा अन्वय स्वीकारे एकत्र विशेषणतया अन्वितस्य अन्यत्र विशेषणता अयोगः इति सर्वम उल्लंघ्य, we whatever conclusion we did yesterday, we get rid of it and we somehow come up with an answer. तथा अन्वय स्वीकारे लङ्लकारस्य विषय अपि भवेत् अपचत् ओदनं देवदत्तः इत्यत्रापि तादृशं भवेत्. So in cases like apachat odanam devadattaha, also we should have some aprathama samanadhikaranyam possible. So what are we discussing? What kind of question you are asking? But without thinking that he brings lakara in between, lang lakara in between. And then Bhashakara answers him. He says, Na kvachid yoga iti krutva sarvatra yogena bhavitavyam, na kvachid ayoga iti sarvatra ayogena. Just because lakara has a prathama samanadhikaranyam does not necessarily mean that other lakaras, so one lakara has that property, doesn't mean other lakaras will have that. Similarly, just because one lakara does not have a certain property, it doesn't mean other lakaras won't have that. So, na kvachid ayoga iti krutva sarvatra yogena bhavitavyam, na kvachid yoga iti krutva sarvatra yogena. Let me read this again. Na kvachid yoga iti krutva sarvatra yogena, kvachid va ayoga iti sarvatra ayogena. So with one sample space, you cannot generalize the statement for the entire, 10 lakaras. And then he gives a quick example. He says, tattad yatha, for example, samanam ihamananam cha adhiyananam cha kechid arthe yujjante apare na iti. When you have a group of 20 people who are from the same background, who are from the same school, college, sitting in the same classroom, studying the same subject from the same teacher, still all of them get different grades. Some of them will be able to use their knowledge in the industry and will be able to earn money. Some of them won't be able to earn that much money. So tad yatha samanam ihamananam, with the same background, cha adhiyananam, studying the same material, kechid arthe yujjante, some will be able to earn money. Others like you who are asking stupid questions at wrong time will never be able to earn that money. Apare na iti. Tasmad lataha aprathama samanadhikaranyam yujjate, langaha na yujjate. Therefore, let, even if we prove that it will have a prathama samanadhikaranyam, it's not necessarily a proof that lung will have a prathama samanadhikaranyam. So he basically gives an answer and makes, pacifies that particular student. And then now he comes to the real argument. So then he concludes it first. Tasmat kshati abhavaha. Kshati ityukte doshaha tatra. So there is no such question, there is no such problem, no such dosha. So tasmat kshati abhavaha. So this is one small side tracking that he has talked is written over here, because this is how the Vartikakara starts. Even before the very first Vartika, in fact, if you go to the Bhasha over here, the very first Vartik is over he says, Kwa anyatra langi. So in the very first sentence itself, this particular question has been, brought up, that apachad odanam devadatta, and the same answer has been given, yoga ityatra anyatrapi yoga syat, and then exactly the same answer is given, samanam ihamananam chadhyananam cha kechid arthe yujjante aparena, and so on. So same thing has been explained here also by the in the vakyartha. So with this particular, one sidelining, side tracking, then he goes to the real discussion. Athava anumana pramanam atra ashriyate. So come back to the main topic. The main topic is that tatra shatrushanach pratyayau tatra aprathama samanadhikarane bhavatah ततः अतः लॉजिक इन्फरेंस अनुमानम इत्यस्य प्रयोगं कृत्वा तत्र कः निर्णयः कः निष्कर्षः तत्र लकारः अपि अप्रथमा समानाधिकरणे भवति. किम् उदाहरणं? धूमं दृष्ट्वा वह्निः अनुमीयते तथा आदेशं दृष्ट्वा अनुमीयते. You see the smoke and you guess the fire. In the same way, you see that particular Shatru and Shanach used in aprathama samanadhikaranam and conclude the same thing for lakara. Now, at this particular point, I want to go back to the presentation and I want to discuss some interesting or important terminologies in the Nyaya Shastra, in the epistemology, logic and epistemology, that will be used in the Vakyartha. And unless we have a clear understanding of these particular terms, our Vakyartha will not have a problem. It's not possible to understand these complex arguments in the Vakyartha. So let's spend next 10 minutes in understanding the bare minimum basics of what is needed for understanding that Navya Nyaya language. So we are talking about this Anumana Pramana. Typically, there are 4 pramanas accepted. Actually, the number of pramanas is as big as 9, but mostly 4 pramanas are typically accepted. And what is a pramana? A pramana is a mean of valid knowledge. Anything by which you can get a valid knowledge, that is technically called pramana. Just like how in Vyakarana Shastra we have complex terms like Vruddhi and Anga and Sarvadhatuka and Guna and so on. In Nyaya Shastra there are these samnyas. One of them, or the most common of them, is pramana. Pramasadhanam pramanam. Prama is valid knowledge. The means of a valid knowledge is called pramana. So there are the different channels of getting knowledge, valid knowledge. We will call them pramana. So the most common 4 channels are pratyaksha, anumana, upamana, and shabda. Pratyaksha means actually you see that. So you see it's raining outside. So that's pratyaksha. And then you say it's raining. So that's pratyaksha in front of your eyes or in front of senses. Anumanam is what we are talking. You look at the smoke and you guess there is a fire. Or you wake up in the morning and you see that the entire ground, roads are all wet. So you do an inference that it must have rained last night. So that is Anumana. Upamana is identifying based on the similarity. So you see 100 cows and then you have a basic idea of what a cow is, and then an 101th animal is given to you and you compare those characteristics and say this must be in the same family as that of a cow. So that is Anuma, that is Upamana. And finally the Shabda, verbal testimony. So for example, there are many things that cannot be understood by Pratyaksha, Anumana, Upamana. So for example, say afterlife, Atma, or Punarjanma, concept of karma. So all these we have to resort to Vedas. Vedas are sacred granthas will tell something. We just have to believe in that. So Shabdaha. So Pratyaksham, Anumanam, Pramanam, Shabdaha. These are 4 important pramanas. There are many more. There are few more, around 9 or 10. They have listed in various darshanas. Each darshana accepts a different number of them. But these are the 4 mains. And even out of these 4, the one that we are discussing right now is Anumana, where the patent example is that you see the smoke and guess that there is a fire. In this Anumana, there are 3 important entities in that particular picture. We have the smoke, we have the fire, and we have the mountain. Tatra parvate dhumaha drishyate tadanantaram anumanena nishchayah kriyate parvataha vanniman. So we have 3 important entities and these 3 have their own names. The dhuma, what you actually see, is called vyapya. It is also called hetu, it is also called linga, it is also called sadhana. So what you actually see, it has all these names. These names will be used interchangeably in our vakyartha. I will come back to this slide again and again when those names come, but this is just a quick introduction. So in the current case, what is that we are seeing? We are seeing the Shatrushanach Pratyaya is used in the Aprathama Samanadhikaranyam. That's what we are actually seeing. Pachantam, Pachamanam. So that is our Vyapya, that is our Hetu, that is our Sadhana. It's a technical term. The second term is Vyapaka, which is the counterpart, the Vanni. This is what we want to deduce. So Vanni, the presence of Vannis we want to deduce, it is called Vyapaka, also called Lingi, also called Sadhya. In the current context, it is the Lakara whose Aprathama Samanadhikaranya we want to deduce. So that is Vanni. So that is Vyapaka. So Shatrushanach, their Aprathama Samanadhikaranyam is Vyapya. Lakar, its Aprathama Samanadhikaranyam is Vyapaka. And the third is the Paksha, the place where whole these thing happens. So if you see the smoke on the parvata, then the Vanni will be on the parvata. If you see smoke somewhere, in the garden or in the jungle, then the Vanni will be in jungle. So that entity is also important. So the place where that smoke, dhuma, is seen, the place of existence of Hetu, see this word Hetu, parvata. So in this context, it is a typical sentence. Where do you see the word pachamanam or pachantam used? It is used in a sentence. Pachamanam devadattam pasya. So a sentence like this will be a paksha in our current context. So we have vyapya, we have vyapaka, and we have paksha. Now with this particular 3 important points, let's now go back to the Vakyartha. There are also next 3 bullets that I'll come back in 2 minutes. But before that, let's read a few lines in the Vakyartha. So tatra Anumana pramanam atra ashriyate yatha धूमं दृष्ट्वा वह्निः अनुमीयते तथा आदेशं दृष्ट्वा अनुमीयते यदत्र लटः अप्रथमा सामानाधिकरण्यं वर्तते इति. So the teacher, the Uttarapakshin, is trying to show that just like you use an anumana in case of say Vanhi and Dhuma, you use the same anumana over here. Now the Purva Pakshin has a very important question at this point. So the Purva Pakshin says it cannot be that simple. So he says, Nanu idam na sangachate. Na sangachate does not seem right, does not fit, does not, match my understanding. Katham na sangachate? Pratyakshatah mahanasadishu vannidhumayoho sahacharyam drishtva parvate vannim sandihanaha धूमाद वह्निम निश्चिनोति इति सिद्धांतः. A person who sees the fumes or the smoke on the mountain can deduce that there will be Agni, because in other places, like in his own kitchen, he has seen the Agni and the smoke together. If he never sees Agni and smoke together, if he never sees the fire and the fumes together, he can't see the fumes and guess that this caused by fire. So Pratyakshataha Mahanasa, Mahanasa is kitchen. Pratyakshataha Mahanasadishu Vannidhumayoho Sahacharyam Društva. So this is a very important criteria, that this Vyapya and this Vyapaka, they should be coming together at some other places. You must have seen the smoke in kitchen, campfires, wildfires, and then one fine day when you see the smoke on the mountain, you are eligible to conclude that there will be Agni. So Pratyakshataha Mahanasadeshu Vannidhumayoho Sahacharyam Društva Parvate Vannim Sandihanaha वह्नि अस्ति वा इति सन्देहः तस्य मनसि, परन्तु धूमं पश्यति, तदनन्तरं स्मरति, ह्यस्तनदिने नो चेत् गतसप्ताहे मम महानसे मया धूमः अग्निः एकत्र युगपत् दृष्टः. So all this happens unconsciously, and then he decides that okay, there will be some fire on the mountain. So पर्वते वह्निं सन्दिहानः धूमाद् वह्निं निश्चिनोति इति सिद्धान्तः. Now there is a problem. Have you seen Lakara and Shatrushanach together anywhere? You have never seen Lakara in any sentence. So how can you use Anumana over here? So Prakrute lasya kutra api prayoga bhavat. There is no way a Lakara is directly being used in the sentence. It is always converted to either Shatrushanach or Tip. So there is no possibility of the Sahacharya coexistence of that Lakara and Shatrushanach, like there is a coexistence of Agni and Dhuma. So Prakrute lasya kutrapi prayoga bhavat अप्रथमा सामानाधिकरण्येन सह साहचर्यस्य अदर्शनात् कथमत्र अनुमान प्रमाणम्. How can you rely on anumana, because the example of Dhuma and Vanni that you have quoted does not fit in the current context. Now what happens is, when this is a very valid doubt and all of us should be bought on this doubt, but what happens is when the teacher listens to this samshaya, the teacher says that I smell two sub questions over there. Typically it happens, right? Many of your teachers, a student asks you a question and sometimes the question itself is not clear to you. So you clarify the question. Are you saying this, or are you saying this? So that is exactly happening. The question has been proposed and the Uttar Pakshin, the Siddhantin, says, I don't really understand the question. Are you asking A, this, or are you asking B, this? And whichever you are asking, I'm going to answer. So I will answer both of those things. Whichever you wanted to ask, you take that answer. So he says, so the question that is presented is Prakrute lasya kutrapi prayoga bhavat aprathama samanadhikaranyena sah sahacharyasya adarshanat kathamatra anumana pramanam pravartate iti ched uchyate. The Siddhantin now says, do you mean A, प्रत्यक्षतः लकारस्य अप्रथमा सामानाधिकरण्याभावं निश्चित्य प्रकृतानुमानस्य बाधः उच्यते. So even if you don't understand anything right now, this is the first possible doubt. Do you mean this? Va ut, or लकारस्य अप्रथमा सामानाधिकरण्येन सह साहचर्य दर्शनात् व्याप्तिग्रहो नास्ति तस्मात् कारणाभावेन अनुमति नोत्पद्यते. So this is second option. Iti prashnashayah va iti vikalpyate. So by listening to your question, I think you must be meaning one of these two questions in your mind. Prashnasya kaha ashayah? प्रत्यक्षतः लकारस्य अप्रथमा सामानाधिकरण्याभावं निश्चित्य प्रकृतानुमानस्य बाध उच्यते इति प्रश्नस्य आशयः वा लकारस्य अप्रथमा सामानाधिकरण्येन सह साहचर्य दर्शनात् व्याप्तिग्रहो नास्ति तस्मात् कारणाभावेन अनुमिति नोत्पद्यते इति प्रश्नस्य आशयः इति विकल्प्यते. And then he says whichever it is I will refute both of them. So he says यदि प्रथम पक्षः चेद ayuktaha ayam pakshaha. And later on he will say some 4-5 lines later yadi dvitiyaha pakshaha chet ayuktaha ayam pakshaha. So either paksha is going to be ayukta, incorrect. But before we really enter this argument, we need to understand what each of these pakshas is. And for doing that, we need to go back to the slide deck and we again need to understand this particular last bullet over here. So we understood what are different types of pramanas. We understood what are the three important aspects of an anumana pramana. The third important thing we need to know is anumana pramanam kada prayoktum shakyate. Anumana pramanasya avashakaha vishayaha tadartham avashakaha sambandhaha ke. Under what conditions? Purely by randomly naming somebody as Vyapaka, somebody as Paksha, and somebody as Vyapya, can you use Anumana? Definitely not. Tatra, there should be some relationship. Kashana sambandhaha bhavet. Some relationship between Vyapya and Vyapaka, Vyapaka and Paksha, Vyapya and Paksha, a relationship of all of them, everybody together. So there will be some kind of sambandhas. And there are three important sambandhas that are typically listed in the Nyaya. So first is called Paksha Dharmata. I will explain. Second is called Samaksha Udaharanam. And third is called Vyapti, also called as Niyata Sambandha. So when all these three conditions are satisfied, then that Vyapya, Vyapaka and Paksha, that triplet can be used for doing Anumana. And what are these three conditions? The first condition is Paksha Dharmata. Paksha Dharmata in simple language means that your smoke that you're seeing must be there on the mountain. The smoke cannot be somewhere else and mountain cannot be just presented as a Paksha for no reason. Obviously, it is but obvious, but it has been documented. So the Hetu, look at the word Hetu, the Dhuma as an example, must be in the Paksha. What is Paksha? It is Parvata. So the smoke must be on the Parvata. That is the first requirement. It is very obvious, but it has been documented, officially named as Paksha Dharmata. Pakshe Hetoho Upasthitihi Parvate Dhumasya Upasthitihi. This is condition number 1. Condition number 2, I'll come to this purple colored sentences in a minute, pink colored, but let's go to the second condition. Samaksha Udaharanam. The second condition is this example like Mahanasa, the kitchen, where you can see the relationship between Vyapya and Vyapaka together. So you need another place like say kitchen or campfire or wildfire where you can see smoke and fire together so that their relationship is fit, becomes fit in your brain. So second requirement is a Samaksha Udaharana. Samaksham Udaharanam with the vibhaktis. So the place where we have already seen the Hetu and the Vyapaka together, the Vyapya and the Vyapaka, the Agni and the Dhuma are together. So in the Mahanasa, in the kitchen, we have seen that. So that is the second condition, Samaksha Udaharanam. The third condition is Niyata Sambandha or Vyapti. Wherever there is a fire, that it must produce a smoke. So in today's days, there might be some smokeless fire or there may be fireless smoke or whatever. Keep those things aside. But from this context, wherever there is a fire, it must produce a smoke. So anytime there is a fire, it must produce a smoke. So therefore, when I see the smoke, I know that it is coming from the fire. So whenever there is a fire, it must produce a smoke. The smoke must come from fire. Either way, so tatra niyata sambandha bhavet. It has to have a permanent relationship between the vyapya and the vyapaka. Yatra yatra dhumaha tatra tatra vanhehe upasthitihi. Wherever there is a dhuma, there must be vanni. If this kind of assertion can be made, I mean, if dhuma can be generated from 10 things, then by looking at dhuma, you cannot guarantee that there is a vanni. Maybe there are some other 9 things over there. But if there is a permanent relationship that Agni will generate a dhuma and dhuma will be generated from Agni, either way, there has to be a permanent relationship. Only then we can see the dhuma and guess that there is an Agni. So that is called niyata sambandha. So there are these 3 important criteria: paksha dharmata, samaksham udaharanam, and niyata sambandha. And now, in the current context, when we are trying to apply this anumana for Latashatrushana Chava Prathama Samanadhikarane, let's try to apply these 3 litmus tests. Let's try to apply these 3 conditions for our example. If these 3 conditions are satisfied, then we can use anumana. If these 3 conditions fail, then we cannot use anumana. So first condition, paksha dharmata, the existence of hetu in the paksha. What is our hetu? Hetu is shatrushanach pratyayoho aprathama samanadhikarane prayogaha, like pachantam, pachamanam. What is paksha? Paksha is the sentence. Pachamanam devadattam pasha. So can you produce a sentence in which the shatrushanach is used in aprathama samanadhikaranyam? Obviously, I can produce Pachamanam Devadattam Pasya, Pachantam Devadattam Pasya, iti udaharanam. So, Paksha Dharmata, the presence of the Hetu, the presence of Shatru and Shanach in a Prathama Samanadhikaranyam, in a sentence, in the Paksha, is it possible? Yes, it is possible. What is the example? Pachamanam Devadattam Pasya, Pachantam Devadattam Pasya, Adini Udaharanani, and therefore tick mark number 1 out of the 3 criteria, Paksha Dharmata has been satisfied. Let's go to the second one. Now we need a direct relationship, a place where the Vanni and Dhuma are together, Mahanasa, for example. Do we see such a case in usage of Lakara and getting converted to Shatru and Shanach? Do we really see the Lakara directly used along with the Shatru and Shanach? Or do you actually see Lakara and then getting converted to Shatru and Shanach? Just like the way Agni and Dhuma can be seen together in the kitchen, is it possible to use the Lakara and uh, the Shatru and Shanach together? So probably no. So this second litmus test somehow fails because in this context there is no such example. We don't see the example directly over here. So samaksham udaharanam nasti. So out of these 3 things, the first thing works, the second litmus test fails. So it at this point itself we know that we cannot use anumana, which means that the Purva Pakshin has some sense what Purva Pakshin talking is actually sensible. But let's go to the third one. Niyata sambandha, the permanent relationship between the vyapya and the vyapaka. Yatra yatra dhumaha tatra tatra vannihi. So, do we in translating in the current context, we will have to ask yatra yatra shatrushan chau aprathama samanadhikaranye tatra tatra lakaraha api aprathama samanadhikaranye iti vishwasaha uchitaha va. So again, all this is hypothetical because lakara is never seen in used in the sentence. So lakaraha asti etat sarvam tu tatra prakriya vishishtam eva. Hypothetical is the only possible answer. So yatra yatra shatrushanacho means yatra yatra dhumaha tatra tatra vannihi iti tu spashtam drishyate. Parantu yatra yatra shatrushanach pratyayau tatra tatra lakaraha api aprathama samanidhikaranye. Is this, guaranteed green I mean, is this guaranteed certifiable? Can we mark this particular bullet as, tick marked? Possibly not. So out of these 3, the first is definitely a test that passes, But the second and the third test, it's a little dicey. We actually, the Anumana Pramana, we fail on both of these tests. This point is very crucial, to be understood, because there are two different things that are failing. This directly relates to the two sub questions that the Uttar Pakshin is asking. So when the Purva Pakshin asks, saying that I don't agree that Anumana Pramana can be used, the Uttar Pakshin exactly pinpoints that, are you saying that Anumana Pramana cannot be applied because Samaksha Udaharanam test fails? Or are you saying that Anumana Pramana cannot be applied because Vyapti test fails? So we have three tests. One of them obviously passes. Remaining two, we don't know the answer yet. They're possibly failing. So is your question about the first or is your question about the second? So that's exactly, now I've copied the sentences from the Vakyartha. It will be very easy to understand. So prashnasya prathamaha ashayaha, is your interpretation that this is exact same sentence that comes from the Vakyartha. Pratyakshatah lakarasya aprathama samanadhikaranya abhavam nishchitya. So you don't see the direct lakara used anywhere. So then obviously it is not used in the aprathama samanadhikaranyam sense, and therefore anumanasya badha asti. Eventually it is the anumana that is going to be blocked. It might be blocked by failure in condition number 2 or failure in condition number 3. Go back to the previous slide. The failure in condition number 2 is the pratyaksha or the samaksha udaharanam. So the same thing is questioned over here. Pratyakshatah lakarasya aprathama samanadhikaranyasya abhavam. Are you saying that the second litmus test is failing? Is it because of the lack of samaksha udaharanam, or प्रश्नस्य आशयः द्वितीयः? लकारस्य अप्रथमा सामानाधिकरण्य सह साहचर्यस्य अदर्शनात् व्याप्तिग्रहः नास्ति. Go back to the previous slide. The third litmus test was vyapti. Is that your question? So see how beautifully Uttar Pakshin captures the exact two tests that are failing. And he says, when you are proposing or when you are questioning that Anumana Pramana cannot be used, do you have a doubt on the second litmus test or do you have a doubt on the third litmus test? And wherever you have the doubt, I am going to resolve that doubt. Tasya uttaram maya idanim diyate. But let's first understand, do you have a doubt on the second one or do you have the doubt on the third one? Now with this particular discussion, it will be easy to understand the whole thing. So prakrute lasya कुत्रापि प्रयोगाभावात् अप्रथमा सामानाधिकरण्येन सह साहचर्यस्य अदर्शनात् कथमत्र अनुमान प्रमाणं प्रवर्तते इति चेदुच्यते. Question number 1, is there a problem with the second litmus test? प्रत्यक्षतः लकारस्य अप्रथमा सामानाधिकरण्य अभावं निश्चित्य उदाहरणं नास्ति समक्ष उदाहरणं. So प्रत्यक्ष is not seen directly. That's exactly what we mean by उदाहरणं नास्ति. अतः अनुमानस्य बाधा, therefore anumana cannot be done. Or lakarasya aprathama samanadhikaranyena sahacharyasya adarshanat, lakara cannot be seen, lakara is never seen in aprathama samanadhikaranyam, so there is no vyapti, there is no permanent sambandha, vyapti graho nasti, tasmat karanasya abhavena. Vyapti is required for doing a reverse calculation or reverse transition. So if Vyapti is not there, there is no reason to see the dhuma and guess the vanni. So karanasya abhavena anumiti, same as anumana, punarekvaram anumanam anumitihi notpadyate iti prashnashayah va iti vikalpyate. So the essence of this argument is that out of the two failing tests, which is the one that you are asking? And now he says, don't worry, I will refute both of them. So he says, यदि प्रथमः प्रश्नः प्रथमः पक्षः चेद अयुक्तः अयं पक्षः. If you are talking about the litmus test number 2, then your argument is wrong. If you are talking about litmus test 3, then your argument is wrong. Katham? यदि प्रथम पक्षः चेद अयुक्तः अयं पक्षः अनन्यथा सिद्धमेव प्रत्यक्षम् अनुमानं बाधते अन्यथा सिद्धं तु अनुमानेन बाध्यते इति सिद्धान्तः. Now, this particular wording, anyatha siddham and ananyatha siddham and all that is not there in the Bhashya. Bhashyakara does not talk about anyatha siddham and ananyatha siddham at all. So let me first quickly explain what the Bhashyakara says, and then we will come to this particular anyatha siddham versus ananyatha siddham. So remember, we are talking about the second litmus test, lack of samaksha udaharanam. In simple language, it means pratyaksha observation is not there. You don't have Mahanasa or any other place where the pratyaksha udaharanam is not there. This particular argument is refuted by Bhashyakara in one line. He says, Bahutra nochet bahushu sthaleshu nochet kutrachit anumanam pratyakshat baliyaha. When there is a conflict between anumana and pratyaksha, the anumana wins hands down. So sometimes even when the pratyaksha is not there, anumana is powerful enough. Let me see if I can quickly find out. It's difficult to find out that line in this particular this one, but it's worth spending a minute. Look at here. Bhavati vai pratyakshad api anumana baliyasvam. Pratyakshasya apekshaya anumanam baliyah asti. Anumana is more powerful than the pratyaksha. Therefore, it is okay if you don't have an example like Mahanasa. If you have a strong enough anumana, then even if you don't have a pratyaksha, it is okay. Many times, for example, pratyaksha is not seen, but in science today, for example, lot of things we conclude based on inference, structure of atom and subatomic particles and lots of things. Even if we cannot see them actually, using experiments we come to some conclusion. So there is no pratyaksha, but some kind of anumana is there. Anumanam pratyakshat bahushu sthaleshu baliyah bhavati iti atra bhashyakarena uktam. So he turns that argument down in a single statement. However, in the vakyartha over here, the scholar has added a little bit of nyaya flavor over here, and he says ananyatha siddham pratyaksham anumanam badhate anyatha siddham tu anumanena badhyate. So he actually takes that pratyaksha and he says there are two types of pratyakshas. Very complex nyaya discussion, but let's understand it because it's there here in the vakyartha. He says there are two types of pratyakshas. Not just the pratyakshas, there are two types of pramanas. All pramanas have two types. There is anyatha siddha pramana and there is ananyatha siddha pramana. Understand these words. Anyatha siddha and non-anyatha. So ananyatha, na anyatha is ananyatha. So there is anyatha siddha pramana and there is ananyatha siddha pramana. What is anyatha siddha pramana? A pramana that has nothing to do with the actual process is called anyatha siddha pramana. So here is an example. You go to a pot maker and he is making the pot using the clay and there is a donkey standing next to him. You go to another pot maker and you see the same thing. There is a pot, he is making it using the clay and there is a donkey standing next to him. You repeat this 50 times and for 50 times you see there is a donkey standing next to him and he is making he in this sense the pot maker is making the pot using the clay. So now, because there is a donkey 50 times, is it strong enough to conclude that donkey is necessary for pot making? Obviously not, because donkey over there is a useless pramana. A pramana that has nothing to do with the actual process. So even if you are seeing that donkey, you cannot use that pratyaksha pramana to conclude anything. So a pratyaksha pramana can be many times useless, and that useless pratyaksha pramana is not to be used anywhere is the ashaya of this whole discussion. So a donkey standing to next to a pot maker is anyatha siddha pramana. On the other hand, the clay that is used by the pot maker, every time along with donkey there was clay also. Now is the clay being used for the pot? Obviously yes. So that is ananyatha siddha pratyaksha pramana. So it is a really valid pramana, or there is really useful pramana, a pramana that is directly involved in the actual process. So in the current context of Shatru and Shanach, what why are we focusing on this ananyatha siddha pramana? So the argument is there is no pratyaksha lakara prayoga. Lakara is never used directly. So the fact that lakara is never used directly is anyatha siddha. It is useless because whether lakara is used directly or not has nothing to do with whether aprathama samanadhikaranya makes sense for lakara or not. So whether lakara is used in aprathama samadhikaranyam is a different story. But we are asking whether aprathama samadhikaranyam makes sense for lakara. So that is the question that we are asking. The answer in return we are giving is no, because lakara is not seen used anywhere. So not seen used is a unrelated pramana. You don't bring it into usage. So even if lakara is invisible, even if lakara goes into some adesha, maybe it is possible to have a prathama samanadhikaranyam on it. So the fact that anyatha siddha pratyaksha, so the fact that there is a lakara is never used or never seen used directly, even if it is a pramana, it is anyatha siddha pramana, and therefore it is not strong enough to block the anumana that we are talking. The anumana, on the other hand, is ananyatha siddha, a direct anumana. So in the current case, the lakara deshas are actually seen used in the prathama samanadhikaranyam. So we can use a directly related anumana. So just going reverse, we say that the anumana which uses the lakara desha in aprathama samanadhikaranyam is anyatha siddha anumana, is ananyatha siddha anumana. This word should come over here. Is ananyatha siddha anumana, and therefore we can come to the conclusion that lakara can be used in aprathama samanadhikaranyam. So in the bottom, or the bottom line, in the essence, this is a competition between a pratyaksha which is anyatha siddha, and on the other side anumana which is ananyatha siddha. And when there is a competition between anyatha siddha and ananyatha siddha, the ananyatha siddha wins, and therefore ananyatha siddha anumana will definitely be more powerful than anyatha siddha pratyaksha. And that's exactly what he says over here. Ananyatha siddham eva pratyaksham anumanam badhate, anyatha siddham pratyaksham ananyatha siddhena anumanena badhyate iti siddhantah. So we will not go in this particular details. He also gives an example. Alata chakrasya ashu sanchara chakra bhranti utpadyate. So he says if you take a burning stick, the sparklers in Diwali, for example, and if that kid rotates in a circle, take a burning stick and rotate it with speed in a circle, you see a fire circle over there. So alata chakra, the fire circle or that particular stick, ashu sancharat, when you rotate it very fast, chakra bhramtihi, the brahmanam, chakra sadrisha brahmanam tatra utpadyate. So what you see is a chakra, but it is that pratyaksha is anyatha siddha pratyaksha. The anumana is more powerful than the pratyaksha. What is the anumana? There is a kid, his hand is, extended in front. There seems to be something in his hand. Obviously, the kid cannot hold a fire wheel in the hand. The kid's hand seems to be rotating, and so on. So all this is anumana, which is more powerful than the pratyaksha. So he says, chakra bhrantehe pratyakshatve api yugapadena ekadikkasya sparshasya. The hand, the touch, sparsha, or the hand that is holding the stick that has the fire at one end will be only at one direction at one point in time. So yugapadena, that whole unit, ekadikkasya, will be at one place, either to the left or to the right, to the top. So yugapadena ekadikkasya sparshasya agrahana rupa hetuna, so that cannot capture the entire circle. All this is anumana. Tasya pratyaksha abhasatvam nishchiyate. So what is seen in the pratyaksha is purely an illusion, is purely an abhasa. This example is given in the bhashya as it is, the alata chakra example. So he quotes over here. So essence of this first argument is that the question that the Purva Pakshin asked was this lack of Samaksha Udaharanam. The answer is that this lack of Samaksha Udaharanam that you are talking is Anyatha Siddha Pratyaksha. It is a weak Pratyaksha. It has nothing to do with Anumana. In simple language, as Bhashya puts it, our Anumana is much stronger. It is so strong that even if one litmus test fails, it is okay, is what the essence over here is, and that is what he concludes. So I'll skip these uktam cha haranapi, these basically some quotes from Vakyapadiyam are given. I'll skip that. So tadvad prakrute lakara prayoga nimittakattvena ananyatha siddhatva. So the anumana is ananyatha siddha. प्रत्यक्षस्य अप्रथमा सामानाधिकरण्य अभावम अवगाहमानस्य अनुमानेन बाध्यत्वात्. The pratyaksh is blocked by anumana. Na atra pratyaksh virodha. There is no objection or there is no concern as far as the second litmus test is concerned. Then he comes to the third litmus test. Yadi sahacharya darshanat vyaptigraho notpadyate. So is that your question? Vyapti is not there. What is vyapti? The permanent relationship between vyapya and vyapaka. Like यत्र यत्र धूमः तत्र तत्र वह्निः एतादृशम् अस्ति तादृशम् अत्र व्याप्तिः अस्ति वा इति तत्र तृतीयः प्रश्नः. So he says, for showing vyapti you need to have lakara used directly, but because lakara is never used directly, so such a vyapti cannot be logically given. So he says prakrute lat aprathama samanadhikaranyavan tadanuvadena vihita adesha sthanivatvat iti anumanam. So what is the anumana? Lat can be used in aprathama samanadhikaranyam, that is the anumana. What is the initial starting point? The Shatru and Shanach are used in Aprathama Samanadhikaranyam. That is the starting point. The Shatru and Shanach are the Adeshas. The Adeshas are used in Aprathama Samanadhikaranyam. The conclusion is that the Sthani is also used in Aprathama Samanadhikaranyam. Now the problem is that the Sthani is never seen directly. So he says, Lasya kutra api prayoga abhavat. Drishtanta abhavena, because lakar is not used directly, so it's harder to give a direct drishtanta, and therefore that sahacharya is not there, therefore the vyapti is not there. But again, there is a different principle that we can use. Yaha sthani saha adesha samana dharma. The dharma, the characteristics of a sthani and the adesha will be same. Whatever characteristic is there in the adesha, it will be brought or it can be imposed on the sthani, or it can be considered to be coming from the sthani. So he says, even if there is no vyapti over here, even if the lakara cannot be directly seen used, however, so lasya kutrapi prayoga abhavat drishtanta abhavena, there is no direct example. So sahacharya adarshanepi, just like you can see smoke and fire together, you cannot see lakara and shatrushanash together, but still there is a different kind of relationship. There is a sthani and adesha relationship. The lakara itself gets converted to shatru and shanach. So the properties on shatru and shanach will automatically come from the lakara. We have seen this many times, that for example, if the adesha sthanivat bhava, for example, the sthani is dhatu, so adesha will become dhatu. Sthani is pratyay, adesha will become pratyay. So when adesha is pratyay and you ask how come this adesha is pratyay, the answer is sthani was pratyay, so adesha is pratyay. In the same way, here we say sthani is used in aprathama samanadhikaranyam. Why? Because adesha is used in the same way. So स्थानी सह आदेश समान धर्म इति सामान्य मुखी व्याप्ति आश्रियते. You base your analogy or anumana on a general relationship between sthani and adesha without focusing on individual lakara versus shatru shanach. Don't go in the specificities of lakara versus shatru and shanach. Talk about a general level, and on a general level it is pretty obvious that adeshas will inherit their characteristics from sthani. So he says tadrisham cha vyaptau in samanya mukhi vyapti prakrut hetu sadhyayoho sahacharyasya apeksha nasti. Hetu and sadhya, let's go back to the previous slide. Look at this. Hetu means vyapya and sadhya means vyapaka. He's using the terms interchangeably. So prakruta hetu sadhyayoho sahacharyasya apeksha nasti. You don't need a direct relationship between the lakara and the shatrushanacha. Hetu sadrushasya sadhya sadrushasya sahacharyam sahacharyam eva tatra paryaptam, tatra prayojakam. So if general adeshas are behaving like general sthanis, one particular adesha you can always say it is going to behave like a sthani. So evam cha prakrute, he gives another example. Other places we can see adeshas behaving like sthanis. So for example, yakara, which is a yanadesha on ikara, it comes because of the same uchcharana sthana. So yakarasya uchcharana sthanam tadvadeva ikarasya uchcharana sthanam. रिवर्स इकारस्य उच्चारणस्थानम् अस्ति अतः तत्र यकारः आगच्छति समानम् उच्चारणस्थानं तत्र विद्यते एंड सो ऑन. सो ही गिव्स एन एग्जांपल. इकारः आदेशभूतस्य यकारस्य तालुस्थानकत्व रूप समान धर्मा. So many places where you have sthani and adesha, you see the similar guna dharmas. In the same way, in this particular case, even if there is no vyapti, it is not an issue, is what he concludes over here. So this way, the third litmus test, it is also not passing, but that is not strong enough because we have some samanya mukhi vyapti, the relationship between the adesha and the sthani, that gets used over here. So this way both these arguments are refuted, which means that now anumana can be used, and therefore what is the final answer? Shatru and Shanach are used in aprathama samanadhikaranyam. They are coming from the lakara, therefore lakara will also be used in aprathama samanadhikaranyam, or therefore it does make sense for the lakara to be used in aprathama samanadhikaranyam. So evancha पूर्वोक्ताभिः युक्तिभिः लटः अप्रथमा सामानाधिकरण्यस्य उपपादित्वात् प्रथमः प्रश्नः समाहितः. This way we conclude the discussion on the first question. I will give a 30 seconds break over here for people to get onto their senses. This was very difficult, and even more difficult or involved part is coming in next half an hour. So I'll just wait for a minute and then we will continue with the second question. Okay, let's go to the second one. So uh, in the second question, the decision that we want to make is Paryudasa Paksha or Prasajya Pratishedha Paksha. Quickly recollect, Paryudasa means that Prathama should not be there, but other vibhaktis should be there. And Prasajya Pratishedha means that it's okay not to have any Samanadhikaranyam, but if there is a Samanadhikaranyam, there must be Prathama Samanadhikaranyam. There must be non-Prathama Samanadhikaranyam. That is the essence. Now he says, and now I'm just going to summarize the argument and then we'll directly read it from the screen or from the Vakyartha. So now he says that let's take three different sentences and try to see if these sentences gain their validity in the Paryudasa Paksha or whether they gain their validity in the Prasajya Pratishedha Paksha. So let's take these three sentences. So he says, let's take the first sentence, Kurvataha apatyam kaurvataha. So kurvat iti shabdaha, tatra apatyarthe an iti tadhita pratyaya prayujyate, kurvataha apatyam kaurvataha iti bhavati. This is a sadhu prayoga. You can see these particular things used. Now, if Shatru Shanach Pratyayas are used in the, I mean, if the Aprathama Samanadhikaranyam is the Paryudasa, then is it possible to generate this Prayoga? The answer is no, because there is no Prathama, there is no Samanadhikaranyam at all. Kurvataha kutra kimapi nasti tatra. Kurvataha Devadattasya iti vadamashche tatra bhinnaha prashnaha. So here Kurvataha has no Samanadhikaranyam. You need to have another word in the same vibhakti when you say there is a samanadhikaranyam. So atra kurvataha iti shabdasya kenapi sah samanadhikaranyam nasti. Now kenapi sah samanadhikaranyam nasti chet paryudasa pakshe tatra shatru shanach pratyeu na bhavataha. प्रसज्य प्रतिषेध पक्षे अवश्यं भवतः, परन्तु पर्युदास पक्षे न भवतः. So if you take a simple example like kurvatah apatyam kaurvatah, in this sentence the basic question is how can you use the shatru pratyay over here, because there is no samanadhikaranyam. Samanadhikaranyam means some other word in the same vibhakti, so there is no samanadhikaranyam over here. So in paryudasa paksha we don't get this particular construct. In prasajya pratishedha you don't need a samanadhikaranyam, so you get this particular construct, and therefore prasajya pratishedha paksha scores over paryudasa paksha for this particular example. Let's take the second example. Let's introduce Devadattasya, because Devadattasya was not there, that was the problem. So let's introduce Devadattasya. Kurvataha Devadattasya apatyam. But the problem is, as soon as you say Kurvataha Devadattasya apatyam, there is no samarthya anymore between Devadattasya and apatyam. You cannot use a tadhita pratyay at all. I have explained this point all the way in the beginning in class number 3 with detailed examples. You should go back and listen if you don't remember. But there is a very beautiful, statement Siddhanta which says Savisheshananam Vrittirna. When a Visheshana is used, the Vritti collapses. So standard typical example is Dasharathihi Ramaha. Iti said the Dasharathasya apatyam Dasharathihi. So Dasharathasya apatyam ityatra tatra iya pratyam krutva Dasharathi iti bhavati. But as soon as you say Shurasya Dasharathasya apatyam, you cannot say Shurasya Dasharathihi. That sentence does not make any sense. Dasharathasya apatyam will be Dasharathihi, but Shurasya Dasharathasya apatyam cannot become Shurasya Dasharathi. Because as soon as you get Shurasya Dasharathasya apatyam, the Anvaya between Dasharathasya and apatyam becomes weaker than the bond Anvaya between Shurasya and Dasharathasya. So Dasharathasya will prefer to get combined with Shurasya rather than apatyam, and therefore Dasharathasya apatyam, this particular construct cannot make any sense. In the same way, Kurvataha apatyam anapratyay is possible, but Kurvataha Devadattasya apatyam, as soon as you say this, Kurvataha, the bond between Kurvataha and apatyam will be weaker than the bond between Kurvataha and Devadattasya, and in that case, the anapratyaya, apatyartha anapratyaya will not come. And therefore this is not a sadhu prayoga. Obviously you cannot use either of the pakshas to justify that particular sadhu prayoga, because there is no there is basically no the vritti is not there, the tadhita pratyay cannot be used at all. So here again this doesn't score, this doesn't score, but the prayoga is wrong, so we don't care. The next example, Kurvati cha asau bhakti. So remember 2-3 classes ago, we talked about a typical example called Karishat Bhakti, which I did not explain, and I said everything will come together in this Vakyartha. So there is this example over here, Kurvati cha asau bhakti, Kurvat bhakti. Kurvati cha asau bhakti means this devotion which does something. Kurvati is the Visheshana for bhakti. Kurvati cha asau bhakti. This is a simple samasa. Kurvati cha asau bhakti. So this is a sadhu prayoga. Now this sadhu prayoga has a prathama samanadhikaranyam kurvati. So you cannot justify it in paryudasa paksha. You can also not justify it in the prasajya pratisheda paksha, because there is clearly prathama samanadhikaranyam over here. So a valid prayoga like kurvati chasau bhakti cannot be justified in either of the cases. So basically, Prasajya Pratishedha also scores 0, Paryudasa also scores 0. So if we tally everything, we see that Paryudasa Paksha doesn't score in the first case and doesn't score in the third case, but Prasajya Pratishedha Paksha does score in the first case and it doesn't score in the third case. So then, as I mentioned that day, each of the paksha has a problem. So if we have to choose a paksha, we will choose a paksha with the minimum problems. So then we choose the prasajya pratishedha paksha, so that kurvataha apatyam kaurvataha can be justified. And in order to justify this, we will add a certain vartika saying that in a samasa, when there is an uttarapada or when there is a tadhita pratyay in front, prathama samanadhikaranyam might be allowed. So that's exactly what is given in the Vakyartha as a samadhana to the second question. So dvitiya prashnasya samadhanam tu itham paryudasa pakshe prathamanta bhinnena samanadhikaranye sati pratyayau staha iti vaktavyam. So that's an explanation of the paryudasa paksha. Tatha sati, right? Tatha sati kurvatah devadattase apatyam kaurvatah पचतः देवदत्तस्य अपत्यं पाचतः इत्यत्र देवदत्तेन सापेक्षत्वात् तद्धितवृत्तिः एव न भवति. So in these cases, if you decide why he takes an example of Kurvatah Devadatta, because Devadatta and Kurvatah are now in Samanadhikaranyam, therefore he can apply Paryudasa Paksha. He's talking about Paryudasa Paksha. A primary requirement of Paryudasa Paksha is the Samanadhikaranyam, non-Prathama Samanadhikaranyam. So Kurvatah and Devadatta, you need this kind of example. But the problem is that now the bond between Kurvatah and Devadatta is stronger because it is a Visheshana Vishesha Bhava. Therefore, atra tadhita vrittihi eva na bhavati. Savisheshananam vrittirna vrittasya va visheshana yogo na iti vachanat. And therefore, Kurvatah Devadatta bhakti. So he gives another example of samasa. Kurvatah Devadatta bhakti, Pachatah Devadatta bhakti, ityadi sthale api tatra samasaha na bhavati. Same example. So the solution is get rid of Devadatta. Padanta nirapekshatva mangikaryam. If you get rid of Devadatta and if you only keep Kurvataha over here, then now you can have Kurvataha apatyam and anapratyay can be used. So he says tasmat atra padantatva nirapekshatvam padantara nirapekshatvam angikaryam तथा सति सामानाधिकरण्यात् आदेशस्य अप्रसंगः. So na सामानाधिकरण्य अभावात् आदेशस्य अप्रसंगः. So samanadhikaranyam nasti. If you get rid of the devdattasya, then there is no samanadhikaranyam. So how can even the shatru and shanach adesha will happen? So either way we are trapped. If you add devdatta, tadhita vritti will not happen. If you don't add devdatta, then samanadhikaranyam is not there. So तथा सति सामानाधिकरण्य भावात आदेश अप्रसंगः तादृशः दोषः उत्पद्यते. So we have problem in the paryudasa paksha. Prasajya pratishedha pakshe to ayam dosha nasti. There is no such problem in the prasajya pratishedha. Tat pakshe pratyay vidhane nimittam eva nasti. In the prasajya pratishedha you don't have a nimitta. Pratyaya anutpattau prathama samanadhikaranyam it aprayojakam iti sutrartha. So pratyaya will not come when there is a prathama samanadhikaranyam. So pratyaya anutpattau prathama samanadhikaranyam aprayojakam. If there is a pratyaya, if there is no other samanadhikaranyam, so if there is no samanadhikaranyam at all, then you can always add a pratyaya. Tasmat sarvatra padanta nirapeksham pratyayotpattau sapeksh bhavat samasaha tadhitaha ch utpadyate. So in cases like kurvataha apatyam kaurvataha, you do not have that devadatta, so that bond is not there, and therefore you can definitely in the prasajya pratishedha paksha you can do the shatru pratyay over here. But the prasajya pratishedha paksha also has a problem, as I mentioned earlier. Kurvati cha asau bhaktihi, pachanti cha asau bhaktihi, atra adeshaha na bhavati, ata atra tadrushaha doshaha agacchati. All this already has been explained with that chart. So let's actually run ahead. We are running short of time. So yadyapi pakshadvayepi doshaha, tathapi prathama kalpoktaha doshaha asmin pakshe na bhavanti. Kintu dvitiya kalpoktaha doshaha prathama pakshepi bhavanti. So both of them have problems. So we find out a paksha with lesser problems. Prasajya pratishedha paksha is a lesser problem. So he clearly says tasmad paryudasa pakshe doshadhikyat prasajya pratishedha eva ashriyate. We weigh towards the prasajya pratishedha. We accept prasajya pratishedha because it has a lesser problems. And when you accept prasajya pratishedha, the obvious question is how do you justify this particular cross over here? Because now, if you accept prasajya pratishedha paksha, kurvati cha asau bhakti, that prayoga has to be justified. So he says, let's make a vartika. He says, let's create a vartika called siddham tu pratyayottara padayoscha. This vartika we have not studied because it is not there in Kaumudi, not there in Kashika. But this is the Vartika that will justify that Karishad Bhakti, Kurvat Bhakti forms. So when I said that even if Kaumudi does not give this Vartika, he brilliantly gives an example like Karishad Bhakti that captures this particular Vartika. Let's go back to this Sutram, I think 3.3.10. Not 3.3.10, 3.3.11. Sorry. 333, I think, Bhavishyati Gamyadaya. Which one? Sadva, this one of these three, 13, 14. So he uses, look at this, he uses Karishad Bhakti, he uses Karishataha Apatyam. Now you can see why I say that learning Siddhanta Kaumudi is your, free pass to learning Bhasha. Exact examples from the Bhasha that capture the whole argument of Prasajya Pratishedha versus Paryudasa have been precisely quoted as examples. Karishataha Apatyam, Karishat Bhakti. So same two examples that we are talking have been quoted over here, obviously in the sense of Bhavishyat Kala. That's why we say Kaumudi Yadi Kanthastha Vrutha Bhashye Parishramaha. Learn Kaumudi very well and you will get the essence of the Bhasha. So Siddham cha pratyayottar padayoscha uttara padam asti in a samasa or tadhita pratyaya asti. If any of these two cases are satisfied, conditions are satisfied, then Shatru and Shanach pratyaya can definitely be attached irrespective of their Samanadhikaranyam. So Shatru and Shanach can be attached irrespective of the Samanadhikaranyam when there is a Tadhita Pratyaya or there is an Uttarapada. So example, Etau dvau kurutaha, etayoho ayam atishayena karoti. The one does it more intensely. So you can actually use a Shatru Pratyaya and use a Tarap Pratyaya, which is a Tadhita Pratyaya. So this is an example of Tadhita Pratyaya. So kurvat plus tarap ityatra tadhita pratyaya pare kru dhatoh vihitasya lat lakarasya shatru adeshah bhavati. Similarly, samasa uttarapadamasti chet sa bhakti ya karoti, the devotion that does or gives the fruits. So kurvat bhakti ityatrapi uttarapadamasti atah shatru pratyaya bhavati. So you give a vartika. So that's exactly what he says. Tarhi कुर्वती च असौ भक्तिः इत्यत्र कुर्वद् भक्तिः कथम् इति चेत् सिद्धं तु प्रत्ययोत्तरपदयोः iti vachanat. So this is the vartika that is given by the vartikakara, and using this vartika you can justify the prasajya pratishedha paksha and the third example of purvad bhakti. Let's go to the samadhanam of the third question. Now we are actually running short of time, so I don't want to discuss this anyonyashraya part. It's a very beautiful aspect, is there in the slide deck. So but I don't want to go in the details because it's too much. I mean, there is a limit on how much you can consume in one particular class, and this is not a course on vakyartha, so I don't want to keep on spending classes after classes on the vakyartha. So I'm going to skip, in the interest of time, I'm going to skip this particular anyonyashraya initial part. I will still talk about the answer, but there is some other doubt that he raises about the anyonyashraya, which I am going to skip for now. And then he directly comes to the third question and its answer. The third question is simplest one. तत्र प्रथमा समानाधिकरण्यं कथं संगच्छते पचन देवदत्तः पचन्तं देवदत्त पचमानः देवदत्तः, and answer given is that लटशत्रुशानचौ इति सूत्रे नन्वोर विभाषा इति सूत्रात् वाग्ग्रहणम् अनुवृत्य व्यवस्थित विभाषाश्रयात् सर्वथा इष्ट सिद्धि. So this is the simplest argument, and we learn it in the course that from Nanvor Vibhasha we can take, let's go to this 3 2 1 2 4 let us Shatrushanachava Prathama Samanadhikarane, and the sutram some 2 or 3 places before there is a sutram called Nanvor Vibhasha. From Nanvor Vibhasha you bring in the Vibhasha, it becomes Vyavasthita Vibhasha. Then he says you do the Yoga Vibhaga. Lataha Shatrushanachau Vibhasha iti ekam sutram अप्रथमा समानाधिकरणे इति द्वितीयं सूत्रम. सो लट लकारस्य शत्रु तथा शानच इति आदेशौ विकल्पेन भवतः कुत्र अयं विकल्पः? प्रथमा समानाधिकरणे अयं विकल्पः. And then second question is अप्रथमा समानाधिकरणे तत्र विकल्पः नास्ति नित्यं भवतः. So that's what he says. That's the solution that he gives. So Nanvor Vibhasha iti sutrad Vagranam Anuvritya Vyavasthita Vibhasha Shranavad Sarvada Ishtasiddhi and Aprathama Samanadhikarane iti Yogo Vibhajyate. So separate Aprathama Samanadhikaranam as a separate sutram. Latashatrushanajau iti sutre Vibhasha iti padam anuvartate. Aprathama Samanadhikarane iti sutre na anuvartate. So one sutra is Vibhasha lat Shatrushanachau, which means that the lat can be converted to Shatru and Shanach optionally in all 7. And then the second one says, hold on, aprathama samanadhikarane nityam. So from dvitiya to saptami it is nityam, and in the prathama it is anyway optional. So tatra aprathama samanadhikarane iti yogo vibhajyate लट्टशत्रुशानचौ इति सूत्रे विभाषा इति पदमनुवर्तते अप्रथमा समानाधिकरण इति सूत्रे नानुवर्तते एवं च प्रथम सूत्रम प्रथमा समानाधिकरण्ये सति पाक्षिक शत्रुशानजम अर्थम इति सिद्ध्यति तस्मात् पचति इति तिङन्तं रूपं पचन इति शत्रन्त प्रयोगः सर्वमिदं संगच्छते अनया रीत्या पचन इत्यादयः प्रयोगाः अपि सिद्ध्यन्ति इति सर्वेऽपि प्रश्नाः समाहिताः भवन्ति अनेन प्रकारेण सर्वेषां त्रयाणामपि प्रश्नानां तेन अत्र उत्तराणि कथञ्चित् दत्तानि. So quick note, this is extremely complex, and as I mentioned in yesterday's class, it is perfectly okay to get confused. In fact, if you are not confused, I would be pretty surprised at this point. If you have understood what I explained thoroughly, I would be pretty surprised at this point. You should start teaching a course immediately. You already know significant more. So basically this is definitely something that is not clear, that is going to cause confusion, at least in the initial reading. Go through the sessions once again, read these things again and again, and as I mentioned in the previous class, there is another vakyartha that was present in the year 2017 by Vidwan Soti Nagaraj on the same topic. So the vakyartha that we took was in 2008. This is 2017. So that vakyartha also I have provided the link. So it's exactly the same topic. Latashatrushan chava prathama samanadhikarane, but it's a scan from the book, so it might not be as nice as the one that we have. But it's the same thing. He talks the same 3 points. So aprathama samanadhikaranyam and prasajya pratishedha and prathama prayoga and so on. So he talks exactly the same things. Lot of things are common. Alata chakra and so on are common examples. Some things are slightly presented differently. Some things are presented in more complex manner. Some things are presented in more, easy to understand manner. So it's a style difference from person to person. It's a style difference from scholar to scholar. So it's worth reading this particular vakyartha also, and then your understanding of these two vakyarthas will immensely grow. One last comment is that this is basically endless. I mean, it is you who have to take it from here. Some of you for whom this is thoroughly complex, it's perfectly okay to leave it at this place. Some of you who are very much interested in grammar, looking or already doing some advanced courses, they might be interested in working on these vakyarthas, reading them separately. If anybody of you is interested in, going over these vakyartha specifically with me or with a small group, feel free to let me know. We can arrange something. So sky is the limit, and you have to decide where you want to stop and where you want to go ahead. We are already running out of time, so I will stop here. From next week onwards, we will continue with our regular coursework. Our course is not about vakyarthas. Let me remind, it is about krudantas. We have finished 7 sheets till bhavishyati adhikara. The 8th sheet bhavadhikara, we will start with the next week, and the syllabus will continue. 2 or 3 quick notes. First is that these vakyarthas that we discussed last class and this class was basically for giving some kind of boost in energy to those of you who are interested in the grammar. It is not part of our course. It will not be used for the exam. Nothing like pratyaksha pramana, anumana pramana, anyatha siddha, ananyatha siddha. None of that is going to be in the exam. Obviously, some things that we have studied earlier, like prasajya pratishedha and paryudasa, these things we have already studied. Or the sutra itself, let us shatrushana chava prathama samanadhikarane, that we have already studied. So whatever we have studied in the other classes will be there in the course exam. This particular vakyartha is purely for your intellectual happiness. It's not going to be there in the exam. So that is first note. Second is that during last 2 weeks, 3 weeks, for some reasons, internet not availability and so on, we missed some classes. this Vakyartha was kind of unplanned, and I just decided to add it in the last moment, and it took 2 weeks to 1.5 week for us. So essentially, I'm slightly lagging on my original plan of completing the course in mid-June or end June, but lagging only by 2 or 3 weeks. So the modified timeline is that instead of June, we will have the course end exam sometimes in say second or third week of July. So good news for you, you can actually get some time, some more time for preparing for the exam. But it is basically, I mean, because of some lag that we had in last few days, last few weeks, the exam is going to be pushed by those many weeks. So we are still on kind of on track. The course will end say in the first week of July, or maybe second week of July if we end up in missing a few more classes like that. But everything will be over by end of July, that's for sure. So exam, your grades, certificates, everything will be done by end of July. Earlier plan was end of June, slightly gets extended till end of July. So those of you who have not started preparation, please start the preparation soon. We will come back, meet next week, same time for the Bhavadhikara sheet number 8. So thank you very much for attending this Vakyartha. It was intellectually challenging for me also to prepare, and more important, explain it. So preparing and understanding is one thing. Explaining it in a way so that people can understand is another thing. So it's also a very good learning experience for me. Thank you very much, and I'll see everybody in the next class. अष्टाध्यायी जगन्माता यस्य चित्तात् समुत्थिता वेदानामुपकाराय तस्मै पाणिनये नमः शब्दब्रह्म समाराध्य कृतवान्यो विलक्षणं सर्वाश्चर्यमिदं शास्त्रं तस्मै पाणिनये नमः येन धौता गिरः पुंसां विमलैः शब्दवारिभिः तमश्चाज्ञानजं भिन्नं तस्मै पाणिनये नमः धन्यवादः।